All right, welcome you guys. It's Jessica with Permission to Charge, and thank you for being here on this blab for those of you that are live with me and those of you that are listening to the replay. So Amy Jo, Success Coach, follow Amy, you guys. Oh, it looks like I'm already following you. Great. Nicole Longstreet, I'm probably saying your name wrong. Good to see you. We got Doug. Jennifer, am I following you, Doug? Let's see. How am I not following you? Okay, I'm following you now. And I'm following Jennifer now too. So yeah, follow these awesome people, you guys. And if you could help me out to share this, there's a little button that you can press to share this show and it will tweet it out. And that way we can get more people involved in this conversation. There's some new things on Blab that I haven't seen before. It says drop a link here, and I tried that. It didn't really do anything. So there's a lot of cool features that it seems like they change things every time or every day almost. So let's get started. How to attract three new clients who pay you what you're worth. I've got some cool tips I wanted to share. The first thing is, how do we get three new clients who pay us what we're worth? Well, clients are coming in through a discovery session or a consultation. Pretty basic, right? But you want to start planning for those discovery sessions or consults. I like to call mine consults, so you'll hear me say that a lot, but I know many of you call your consult a discovery session or a strategy session or a clarity call, something like that. So the first thing that you want to do is decide how many discovery sessions you're going to need to attract these three new high-paying clients who just can't wait to work with you. Again, sounds pretty basic, but it's a law of attraction type of thing. And so you want to make sure that you set a goal, like how many discovery calls or consults is it really going to take for you to land your next three awesome clients. So if your closing ratio is, say, 50%, you're going to need to talk to 6 people. And I like to triple that number just to give you extra cushion and extra padding. So you want to plan to talk to 9 people, have 9 awesome discovery sessions so that you can ensure that you have 3 new clients coming on board. So that being said, the way that you want to really anchor this in reality, instead of just have it be like, gee, I want to have 9 discovery calls this month, is to plan it out. So, get your calendar and map out on the calendar, when are you available for these discovery sessions? If you use an online calendar, which I highly recommend, like, open up your spots on your calendar. Again, it seems really simple. It seems kind of like, well, duh, of course I have to do that. But sometimes we just set the goal and we don't actually take all the action. So be prepared. Make sure you have a lot of spots available on your calendar at different times so you can bring in these discovery calls. The other thing that I like to do is I buy these really nice cards for my clients and I send them out to them. These cards are like $7 from Papyrus. I think I'm saying that right. And I'll put, like, this says $5,000. So I'll put the program that I want to sell and the price of it. And I'll say, like, client number 1, $5,000, client number 2. So right now I'm ready for 3 clients. And it's really cool because every time I buy these cards and I put the Post-it note, within a week or 2 weeks, those cards are gone. So it's a manifesting tip that I use. Obviously, I'm doing more than just the positive thinking, but I'm ready, right? Like, I am ready to send these cards to 3 people. So that's something that I think you guys might want to start doing. If you like this tip, give me props. There's, if you click on these little, actually, I'm probably pointing the wrong way. Yeah, so Doug's doing it. There's those little yellow hands and it's going to give me props. Yes, Nicole, I am sending those cards to new clients who enroll. So I have them right on my desk. I can see them. And yeah, thanks, Doug. Doug said, very cool idea. I have them right on my desk. And so I am ready for those 3 new clients. Across the way here, I also have one of those big Post-it notes. It's like a big pink Post-it note. And I have the number of new clients I want to bring in, the dollar amount I want to bring them in at, and then I have like 1, 2, 3. I actually have 10 because that's like my goal for the whole month. But these cards, I usually buy like 3, 4 at a time. Sometimes I'll buy like 10 at once. But right now I'm like, okay, my big goal is 10, but I'm ready for like the next 3 that I'm bringing in over this week. So the Post-it note has a space for each of their names. So once I enroll them, I can go and write their name up. And that's like my big kind of visual for the month. I'm not going to go into my whole goal setting thing, but if you guys do go to my YouTube channel, I think it's Permission to Charge, you'll be able to see, I could actually grab a link to that in a second, but you'll be able to see there's a video I did about how to set your financial goals. But this is just more like planning to have discovery sessions and how many new clients that you want to bring in. So you may want to create like a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet. This is what I use. And I will list out if I want to have, 9 discovery sessions, that I'm going to have 9 lines, 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 9. And I'm going to have that ready for how many, for those people to put their names in. And then on the right side of that piece of paper, if I want 3 clients, I'll have like 3 lines for the new clients. So that's something that you can do. There's a lot of fun ways to do it, but like having a visual, I think, is really important if you want to ensure your success with this goal. Okay, so that was the first thing. That's just like getting that out of the way. You want to make sure that you're actually prepared. You know exactly how many discovery sessions you need to have in order to actually enroll those 3 clients. And then you need to be ready for those clients. Like have your card that you're going to send them, maybe have 3 file folders ready, like, make space on your calendar. When are you going to be working with them? Do you have time on a certain day to take on new clients? So, the universe is going to support you if you actually clear space for these new clients to come in. Seems really simple, but I think it's really, really important. Yeah, Nicole said, make the space. Good tips. Thank you. Yeah, like create the space for these new clients, because if your life is jammed up and your business is jammed up, how are you really going to create the space for them to come into this coaching program with you? All right, so the second step I want to share is price according to your value. That's how you're going to have clients paying you what you're worth, right? So if you don't charge according to your value, if you're charging on what you think they're going to pay, if you're charging on how long it takes you to do the service, what you need just to pay your bills, then you're not, you're not creating that supportive space for them to step into a transformation. We have someone else joining us. And so what's happening is you're just trying to like price your stuff based on whatever you can get. And what I want you to do is really take a look at the transformation you provide and the service that you provide, and just determine what that is worth to your ideal client. And if you guys, if that's a hang up for you in terms of, that you're not charging your worth, I would encourage you to go to raiseyourratechallenge.com. So that's a 5-day training that I put together. It's totally free. It's going to give you the training that you need, and it's going to challenge you to increase your rates and charge what you're worth. So definitely check that out if you're in that boat where that you're not priced the way that you should be. So that's step 2, is we definitely have to price based on our value. When you do that, your ideal clients, they're going to match that vibration, right? So if you're in alignment with your prices and you're confident and without a shadow of a doubt that you can get the results for them, they're going to match that. They're going to feel secure knowing that you are confident. If you're not confident, they're going to start to doubt whether it's worth it. They're going to doubt whether they can get the results. So you want to make sure that you have a very high level of confidence and you're wanting your clients to meet you there, instead of you, like I said, charging whatever you think you can get away with charging, wondering if it's worth it, feeling doubt about your own program and offer. That's going to translate in your energy, in your voice, and people are going to pick up on that. And you're just going to attract the wrong people. You're going to attract people who are also in the lack mindset, because you're in a lack mindset. Okay. There's a really cool quote by Wayne Dyer where he said, "We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are." So Shirag Neb said, this happens to me all the time. Clients turning off because of my lack of confidence. Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that you recognize that. And I would definitely say take the Raise Your Rates challenge. I just posted the link. I would love to see how that helps you and how that shifts your mindset. By the way, if you're just getting on this call, tell us like what kind of coach or consultant are you, or what kind of business owner are you? I'd love to know where you live and what kind of business owner you are. And then of course, tweet this out by pressing the button that says share this. And Jennifer said she just put 3 thank you welcome notes on her desk. Cool. You're like taking action quickly. That's awesome. Okay. So this is the next step I want to share. It's funny because I keep saying this is basic, this is a no-brainer, but it's all things we need to be reminded of. I think with goal setting, everything has to be very clear and very step-by-step. That's how we reach our goals. Like if you're trying to lose weight, for example, like you have to do a certain amount of exercise every day. You have to eat the right kind of foods, and then you have to weigh yourself every day or once a week to see that you're making progress. So it's like with anything else, any goal that you would want to reach, you have to take these specific steps. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that conversations lead to consultations. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is the more conversations that you're getting into, that you're leading into a consult or a discovery session, the more discovery sessions and consults you're going to have. So let's talk about offline and then let's talk about online. So offline, attending events, speaking at events, meeting people. One of my clients that's in our Permission to Charge Academy, she is a mom and her target market is also moms. And she has been actually enrolling people into discovery sessions from being at the park, which I love. She's at the park with her kids, connecting with other moms who are at the park with their kids, and she's getting into these conversations. Then she's moving that conversation into a consult, and from the consult, enrolling them. She actually enrolled her first 90-day client that way, which I think is like totally badass. Like that, how cool is that you're going to the park and connecting with someone and they're ending up becoming a client? Like that is the true coach right there. So I just want to welcome Ilo. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name correctly. Ilo, tell me how to pronounce your name, Ilo. That's really pretty though. I'd love to know actually how to pronounce it. And I already am following you, but follow her, you guys, and welcome to the Blab. So the more conversations we get into, but how do you parlay that into a consult? So when you go anywhere, right? If you're at the park or a networking event, you don't start out by like pushing your stuff on people. You ask questions, you're curious, and you find a point of commonality. Like, oh, you have kids, I have kids. Oh, you work with coaches and I work with coaches. That's really interesting. Tell me more about that. So ask questions, ask the person to tell you more about what it is that they do, and ask leading questions. So I'll give you a great example. In my business, if I'm talking with someone, now granted, I start off by just a conversation. I'm not attached to that person booking a consult with me. I'm not attached to them becoming a client. It truly is a conversation first. So it's the relationship first. Would I like for them to be a client? Do I hope that could turn into that? Yeah, that would be really cool, but I'm not leading with that because I know that if I have a certain number of conversations that lead to consults and I have a certain number of consults, that it's a numbers game. I'm going to enroll a percentage of them. So to help you get out of fear and overwhelm, make sure you're doing what I'm talking about every single day. Because if you do what I'm talking about every day, you will have more consults or discovery sessions, and you will enroll more people, more clients. So this is how I would do a leading conversation. So if I'm talking to someone who is my ideal client, typically someone that's been a coach for a few years, or I do work with consultants, hypnotherapists, psychotherapists. So I really like to work with people that are subject matter experts. They're really good at what they do. And I will ask them questions. Again, I'm first just building a relationship. So these are my leading questions. So I want you guys to think about what your leading questions are. But first, just let me paint the picture, and then that will help you figure out what your leading questions are. So my leading questions, I want to find out, oh, well, how do you attract clients? Well, how do you, what's your signature program? Because that's something I help people with. Oh, what's your signature program? It's this. Oh, well, do you have other programs? Yeah, I have this, this, and this. If I hear that they have like 10 different offers, that's like red flag for me. Like, oh, so how's your business going? How long have you been in business? Oh, I've been in business for 5 years. Oh, awesome. So who's your ideal client? And right away, asking those questions, I can start to pick up on if they are not clear on those things, if they're struggling with those things. And usually they'll tell me, oh, well, I do have a signature program, but I usually don't sell that one. I usually am just selling the one-time sessions. And I'll go, oh, interesting. So how is that working for you? And so I'm just kind of leading in, and I'm asking really smart questions like, oh, well, how many discovery sessions per month do you have? Well, where do you get those discovery sessions? So by me asking those questions, usually what happens is they're like, wow, you're asking me really smart questions. You must really understand my business. And what happens is they start asking me questions. And the more they share, the more intelligent questions I ask, the more they see me as an expert. And they start going, well, what do you do? And then I say, well, this is what I do. And they're like, oh my gosh, I need that. And when that comes around, I go, awesome. Well, I'd love to talk to you further. This has been a great conversation. I feel like we could talk for hours, but let's have a consult, or let's have a discovery session. I really want to see really what's challenging you in your business. And, I'll show you how I can help you, or I'll direct you to someone that can. How does that sound? And they're usually like, oh my God, that would be great. So it's not a pressured thing. It's a conversation. I was building a relationship, and I moved that into a consult. Nicole says, that's smart. Get people to talk about themselves first. Absolutely. And you can start out very personal. Like if it's someone that you have something in common with, like for me, and be like, oh, I see you have a 2-year-old. I have a 2-year-old, right? So, you're just making that connection. And any other connections, like I might say, wow, it looks like we serve the same target market. You work with coaches on their branding, and I work with coaches on their pricing and their packaging and their sales conversions. And so, wow, that's cool. We have that in common. I'd love to know more about your clients. And so now I'm just creating that relationship. We have a common ground. That person may or may not become an ideal client for me, but that's how I'm starting the conversation. So that's what you would be doing offline if you meet someone at a networking event. Now let's take it online. It's really not vastly different. It's the same thing online. So when you're online, it's called social media because we're supposed to be social, right? Not salesy, be social, not salesy. And so every single day I make a point to make 3 new friends on Facebook. And so I use Facebook primarily. There's definitely a lot of other platforms. I'm obviously using Blab right now, and I'm creating relationships with all of you right now. So Doug says, asking questions is better than what I used to call show up and throw up. Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. I want to use that sometime, Doug. Yeah. Like you don't want to show up and throw up. Totally. Like, and people do that, like they'll just walk up to you, like hand you their card, and you're like, okay. So online, you guys, how do we do that? Yeah, show up and throw up all about yourself. Exactly. Yeah, don't show up and just talk about yourself. So when you're online, same thing. I try to make a point to make friends with 3 people every day. Now, mainly I'm making friends with 3 female coach entrepreneurs every day because that's really my target market. And I also look to see who they are. Like I look at their job, their business description. I might look at their Facebook page. If I see they're up to really cool and big things, that's someone I want to get to know. If it looks like they're a complete newbie, I do work with a lot of newbies, but it's not my direct, marketing funnel. So I'm always looking for someone that I can see that they have followers, they're, consistently posting, and it looks like they've got some really cool things going on in their business. So there's specific things I'm looking for when I'm friending people. And so one of the things that I do every day is I invite people into my own Facebook group. I should probably post a link for that in a second. And I just want to see. Okay, so Amy Jo says LOL. Okay, yeah, Doug. Doug said we should chat. So there you go. Doug is making a connection, common ground, and saying we should talk, and I would love to talk about that. So can you message me on Facebook, Doug? That works for me the best. So awesome, cool. You should be able to find me pretty easily, Jessica Riverson. So when you're online, making the connections, starting the relationships. Well, how do you start relationships? You've got to friend people, and then you've got to private message them. And, some people are really afraid to do that. I have never had an issue. The worst thing that can happen is they just don't respond to me. But I've never had anyone be really nasty and say why are you friending me or something like that. Let's see. Oh, hello, Elena. Follow Elena, you guys. Welcome, Elena. Okay, so when you're online, make friends with people every single day, 1, 2, 3 people every single day, and strike up a conversation just like you would at a live networking event, right? So you're just being friendly. You're picking out things that you have in common, and then you're moving that into a consult if it's a right fit. So what I'm not saying is to strike up private message conversations with people and then offer them your discovery session. It has to be natural. It has to flow. So a lot of times I'm not necessarily offering that or moving it into that, but I might say, hey, we have a lot in common. We share the same target market, or let's say you're a health coach and you're working with, you're looking to work with people who want to lose weight. You would be looking to see if they had posted things in groups or on their profile that they're getting in shape or something like that. You're not just looking for people oh, they look like they have a weight problem. That's not what we're trying to do here. But you're looking for characteristics that remind you of your ideal clients. And then you can invite them into your group if you guys have something in common. This works really, really well if you're business to business as well. Or let's say you're a woman entrepreneur or a male entrepreneur and you work with other entrepreneurs, or you help entrepreneurs lose weight or something, then you have that commonality of you're both entrepreneurs. And then you can strike up that conversation and move it into a consult or a connection call. So I either call it a collaboration call or a connection call, depends. But I might say something like, hey, I see we have a lot in common. I'd love to set up a call and connect with you and see ways that we might be able to collaborate. And from that, you're either going to discover a way that you truly can collaborate and share referrals, or you're going to discover that you actually have something that can help them. And in reality, they're going to realize that you have something that can help them because you're going to ask them really, really smart questions. And then what's going to happen is they're going to be like, oh my gosh, wow, this is incredible. So what do you do? How do you help people with this? And so it's not really to get on the phone and just be like, oh, this is what I do. It's really to get on the phone and ask them a lot of questions. So if you do, let's say 2 or 3 collaboration or connection calls every single week, you will be moving closer to having more and more consults, because a percentage of those calls are going to turn into consults, either right on the spot, or you can say, you know what, let's set up a time to talk about this because I know I can help you with this and I'd love to set up a time to talk to you about this. So then you can set up an official discovery session. One of my most recent clients actually came to me. We were both on a telesummit together, and I reached out to everyone on the telesummit. A lot of people didn't respond, but I reached out to this one person and I said, look, we just had this private message conversation, and it led to hey, we should hop on the phone and, learn more about each other. And I asked her a lot of really smart questions and shared some of my knowledge. And by the end of it, she had become a client. And that wasn't my intention. That wasn't what I was going for. But it just turned out that I really could help her. And so I'm very clear on the type of people that I can help. Now, I had no idea she needed my help. I just knew she was an awesome woman and that we had something in common. We were both on the same telesummit. I knew that she fit my ideal client profile in a lot of regards because she's an expert on what she does. She's a coach, but I didn't know that she needed my help necessarily. So I just knew she fit a lot of the criteria. And it was kind of like a very natural thing, oh, we should connect and we should talk. And we also discovered we had a mutual friend in common that we're both pretty close with. So that's an example of how those connection calls can lead right into that person becoming a client of yours. Okay, the other thing that you guys want to do, this kind of goes back with the first one. So if you just got on and you didn't hear the first few tips, you might want to listen to the replay. And I just want to welcome, we have a few more people coming on here. John Lee, awesome. Welcome. Jose, welcome. So tracking the number of conversations that you're having and tracking the number of consults or discovery sessions. Those are two different measurements, you guys. So the conversations lead to the consult. So if you're being social, offline and online, you're having conversations, you're engaging with your ideal clients every single day. You're finding ways to act. Hi, Diane. You're finding ways to connect, to relate to them. Private message people. If someone comments on your post, and you can private message them, hey, thanks for commenting on your post. I noticed that you do blah, blah, blah. I'd love to hear more about that. So you're getting into conversations. I think the problem is we just post, and we just kind of sit back and wait for, the money to roll in. And it doesn't exactly happen that way. You have to get into a conversation with the person. So if someone comments on your post or they like your post, I don't care if it's LinkedIn or Facebook or somebody retweets you, reach out to them, create a conversation. Some of those conversations will go nowhere and some of them won't even respond to you. That's okay. So Nicole's saying, yes, truth. So many people are afraid to reach out. Totally. And I had this great conversation with Nicole. I did an event in Newport Beach when I was visiting last week for coaches. And that actually, I'm going to share that example because that was a perfect example. I have been creating relationships on Facebook for a while now. And so I knew I was going to Newport Beach. So I created an event for coaches, and Nicole was one of the people. I posted in a few groups, hey, who's in Newport Beach? And people started responding, and I started private messaging them, and they started private messaging me. And I was like, hey, I'm putting together this event. So we ended up having, I think, like 8 to 10 people, because some people came late and some people left early. But we ended up having like 8 to 10 people. They were all coaches, and they all lived in the Newport Beach kind of surrounding area. None of them knew each other. I think a couple knew each other, but most of them didn't know each other. And I came there from Seattle and connected all these people. And now I have made friends with all these new coaches. I actually got to meet them in person. So that was really, really cool. And it's the power of Facebook. I mean, I don't know anyone in Newport Beach, but I do now. I've got 8 cool friends that I can call up next time I'm in town. And one of them was actually a client of mine that I had never got to meet. So reaching out, like sharing something, reaching out to people. I even private messaged some people that I was in groups with. I was like, hey, I see that you're in Orange County. I'm having this event. And that's actually what got some people there. And then there was a bunch of people that wanted to come and couldn't come. And I was like, okay, I'll let you know next time I come to Newport Beach. But in the meantime, join my group. Like, let's hang out there in my group. So I do a lot of that every single day. But back to my tip here is that tracking the conversations. So if you are looking at your calendar and you're going like, I'm not getting very many discovery sessions, I'm posting, I'm doing all this stuff online, but it's not turning into actual discovery sessions. Start tracking your conversations. Like, how many people every day did you get into a private message conversation with? How many people every day did you hop on the phone with for just a connection call? And Nicole, I know that we need to get on the phone. My schedule has been so crazy since I got back, but I'm going to respond to you, Nicole, because Nicole and I are supposed to have a connection call and see how we can support each other. So have those connection calls. They're all going to lead you somewhere. Some of them are going to lead you to joint venture partnerships. That's still money, right? That's still growing your network, expanding your net worth. Like, you're going to make money from those joint venture collaborations. Some of them lead into clients, and some of them just lead into loyal followers and fans, and they refer other people to you. So that time that you spend on a connection call is very valuable. And you guys, these calls can be 20 minutes. I encourage you to keep them below 30 minutes just because you can spend all day on the phone. So like, keep it concise. Like, know what you want to ask the person, know what you'd like to share about yourself, and get right to the point. It's not to rush people off the phone, but like really connect with them deeply in the first place. Ask great questions, share great information, and then figure out how you guys can be in contact. So JVs are a great way to collab and help people. Yeah, absolutely. I do a lot of joint venture stuff, and I'm always promoting other people's things to my list and in my Facebook group. things that I believe in, things that I've used before. So it absolutely, like, why don't we all grow together, right? We're all wanting to grow our online coaching businesses. Why not grow together and share other people's stuff, right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're tracking the number of conversations, and then we're tracking the number of consults. And you're going to see the more conversations that you get into every day, that's going to lead to more consults, discovery sessions being booked. Okay. The next thing I wanted to share was to do outreach. And this is something I've been talking about. Awesome. I love that you guys are connecting over here. I'm just seeing all the comments. So doing outreach. So I pretty much already talked about this one. I just realized this is kind of a duplicate tip, looking at my notes here. But basically, outreach to people, like reach out to people that like your post, that comment on your post. Make sure that you are friending people every day, and you connect with them. So if I friend someone, I'm not always 100%, you guys, but I try to do this 100% of the time. And because you don't want to friend someone and then just not say anything. So friend them and be like, hey, I friended you because I noticed blah, 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 and say something, a compliment or something that you liked about them. I'll usually say, hey, I'm connecting with you through the such and such Facebook group. And I noticed that I just messaged someone this morning. I noticed that you do EFT. That's really cool. What do you specialize in with the EFT? So I reached out to her. And so if I do that with 3 people a day, at least one of them is like not even going to respond. It's just kind of how it goes, or they might take a few days to respond. But at least 2 of them will respond and will create that conversation. So you want to set, awesome. So Max said he's found my LinkedIn profile. Cool. Yeah, that's another way to connect with people on LinkedIn. And actually the strategy that I'm sharing is something that people use on LinkedIn quite a bit, where you can really look for your ideal clients on LinkedIn, or people that you think your ideal clients, and set up a call with them. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, at Fret Jazz. So let's see. Vernon. Oh, Vernon. Awesome. Jazz, blues. I love jazz. That's cool. Okay. So the last thing that I want to share with you is a specific type of post that I've used on Facebook that has had people private messaging me and reaching out to me, sometimes on the spot and sometimes months later, because they've actually been following my posts or they've been in my group and following what I'm saying. But this happens all the time. I think last weekend it was like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. Someone's like, hey, I need to talk to you. I'm really struggling with this, and I really want to talk to you about working with you. So people that know what you do, you've positioned yourself online as being the go-to expert for something specific. In my case, it's charging your worth, the pricing, being able to command higher prices for your services and learn how to convert those conversations into sales and get new clients. So people that know that I'm always talking about that topic, at a certain point when they're ready to move forward, they know that they can private message me. They know that they can reach out to me, that I'm going to be someone they should be talking to solve this problem. So the type of post that I do quite a bit that you should also try today to attract high-paying clients that pay you what you're worth is do a post. I call it the I'll teach you how post. So the I'll teach you how post, you guys have all seen people do this, and maybe you've already tried it, but the I'll teach you how post is that you talk about something that you have accomplished in your business or in your life. So if you're a health coach, maybe you lost 100 pounds and kept it off, and now you're helping other people do the same. You're going to tell that story. So that's the type of post that I'm talking about. So for example, yesterday I posted something about, how I created my first 30K sales month. And I talked about all the crap that I went through, the limiting beliefs, the years that I didn't think I was worth it, and just like really the whole before story. It's a before and after story. I went through the whole before section. This is what I felt. This is what I was up against. This is what I was going through. This is all the really shitty things that happened to me that made me think I wasn't good enough. And, I went through that whole story of like, this is how hard it was. And then this is how I overcame that. And this is what I did. And this is how things changed for me. And then this is the result that I got. I finally had 30K in sales in 1 month period. And, now today, here's where I'm at today. So I kind of went through the story of where I was, what the struggle was, what the pain point, and I was very specific. I shared a lot of personal stuff. You don't always have to be as personal as I was on that post, but really get into like the pain points, because you want your ideal client to resonate with that. They're going to go, oh my God, I'm up against those things and I feel those things. But look, if you were able to do that, maybe I can do that. So it's called the I'll Teach You How. I've done it. I'll teach you how to do it. And so that's the post that I did yesterday. And it was really interesting. I still have people kind of commenting. Yeah, no pain, no gain. So I still have people commenting on that post. One person was like, hey, I own this magazine, would love to talk to you about your story. And I'm like, cool. So I immediately private messaged him and was like, hey, thanks for commenting. Your magazine sounds really, really cool. I'd love to hear more about the magazine. So, that's going to turn into like getting on the phone and a connection. Maybe I'll be in a magazine. I don't know. So that was one comment. A couple other people were like, oh, I totally needed to hear that today. And so I can follow up with them and be like, hey, I see that you commented on my post. I really appreciate it. What's going on, and what are you working on in your business right now? And maybe they'll share with me like, oh, well, I'm really working on this, but I'm struggling because of this. And then I can say, hey, I understand, I've been there. If you want to hop on a call and talk about what's going on, and I can maybe show you how I can help you with that, let's have a call. And now some people are like, no, I don't want to, they're like, no. But a lot of people are like, yeah, I would love to talk to you. And it doesn't have to be a long thing, you guys. It can be 10, 15 minutes where you assess like, okay, is this someone that I could work with? And are you interested in solving this problem? If they're like, yeah, I really want to solve this problem, then I would say, okay, let's do a proper discovery session. Either like if they have time right then, let's do it now, or you can set up another time. So that's also another great way. But those kind of posts show people that you were there where they are now. You were there, you've moved through it, you got the result, and now you're here as a coach or consultant to show them how to do it. Now, if you don't have the problem that you solve now, like let's say you're a health coach and you've always been like in shape or something, then you're going to want to do a story about an ideal client, like a success story. So we have a comment, I'll teach you how sounds like it can be really inspirational as sharing the challenges before the success encourages persistence. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for saying that. He said it's a good tip. Yeah. It really works. And, like I said, I did a post like that yesterday and I got a lot of comments and people saying, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that. So it is very inspirational. And like I said, you're going to get a return on investment from a post like that, or even if it's an email, you guys, it could be an email, a blog post, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn, post, but, you're going to get a return on investment for that either immediately or down the line. The way that you can move that forward faster is, like I said, if someone likes your post or comments on your post, private message them, strike up a conversation with them. And again, we're tracking how many conversations are you getting in every single day, because those conversations are now leading into consults. Oh, I saw that there was, okay. Doug said, in the past, I tried to message 15 to 20 people on their Facebook pages. Facebook frowns on sending out more than 20 messages per day, so I keep it to that amount. Okay, that's a good tip. I didn't know that. Yeah. I personally can't do like that many a day. I can't like hold that many conversations in a day, but I mean, I think that's a good strategy. If you've blocked out an amount of time, even if it's just like half an hour or an hour, where you're going to say, okay, I'm going to be available on this particular platform to have messages back and forth and connect with people. And then you can go about your day after that. You come back later and check the messages in the evening and respond to someone. So it's not like I'm not saying to spend your entire day on Facebook and doing this. Like, that's not a good idea, but set your timer, set aside some time. Like this morning, I connected with a couple people. Yesterday, I made that post, and I had a lot of calls yesterday, so I went about my day, and I came back later, and I'm still kind of checking in with people on that particular post. Another person said he wanted to get onto my webinar that I'm going to be doing. So, it really, really works as far as getting the conversation going, because a post like that people can't help but respond. I shared really personal stuff. So even some people were just like, wow, thank you for sharing that, or thank you for being transparent, or thank you for being brave to share that information. And if you haven't had that transformation, then you would want to share a success story and talk about, hey, you guys, today I want to tell you about my client, Sherry. You know, Sherry was feeling this, this, and this. She struggled for 20 years feeling this way. And she finally just had enough and knew that she had to make a change, and she reached out to me. And what we did was we did this, this, and this. And now today, Sherry is, 20 pounds lighter. She tells me that she has double the energy. And instead of taking a nap every afternoon, she goes to the park with her kids. So now you're painting a picture and sharing a story. You're saying, look, I've helped my clients do it. I can teach you how to do it. And that kind of post will have people commenting. And if you want to take it a step further, you can add a call to action and say, on mine yesterday, I said, comment below with 30K if you'd like me to share with you how I created that result in my business. And then so people started writing 30K, or they said, like, I'm interested. Mark says, sharing your personal story or personal thing really helps your prospects know that you are not just there to sell them, but you're there to help them. Absolutely. Like, I don't think any of us gets into this business just for the money, right? We're doing something we're passionate about because we want to help people. And that's our part of our purpose on the planet. And we just are lucky enough that we get to make money doing what we love. So on that note, I have 60 seconds on the clock, and then I have a call with someone. So I've got to hop off here, but I hope you enjoyed these tips. Give me props, tweet this out one last time so people can come and grab the replay. The replay will be available in just a few minutes, you guys. So if you missed the first few tips, I think I gave like 8 tips here. So you'll be able to go back and listen to those tips. So you guys are so welcome. It was awesome to connect, creating new relationships. For those of you that are female entrepreneurs, I do have my Permission to Charge Your Worth community on Facebook for female entrepreneurs. So I always say this, and then I have a lot of guys that try to join, and it's a girls group right now. I'm sorry, but you can still connect with me on Blab, you guys. Oh no, that's not the link I was trying to grab. Hold on a second here, you guys. I'm going to grab the link for my Facebook group for those. I know a bunch of you are already in it, but some of you aren't. So let me grab that link, and I would love to invite you. So we're almost at 800 members, you guys. So that's really, really cool. I'm excited to do that. Mark says he doesn't take offense. Awesome. Good. I'm glad. I always feel bad if I see men, they're like knocking on the door trying to get in the group, and I'm like, I'm sorry. But last night I had this grand idea that I'll start another group because my husband has joined my business. And so I had this idea that maybe we'll start another group that's co-ed. So one more link I want to give you besides the Facebook group is a Blab that I am doing next Monday. And that is the break room for coaches. Anyone can join us. And that's a place for coaches to go talk about the real stuff behind developing your 6-figure coaching business. So we're going to talk about, is it all about having a positive attitude all the time? So I have shadow expert Monica Palaio on that call with me. And so we're going to talk about what's really behind the whole positive attitude thing. And is that really all it takes? Thank you, Mary Catherine Johnson, for being here. I'm going to follow you. You guys follow Mary Catherine. She's a parent entrepreneur podcaster. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to be following you now. Would love to see you in my group, Mary Catherine. It looks like you're up to cool things too. And then Diana, welcome, digital strategist. Would love to have you in my group too. So there's a link to the Facebook group. There's a link to my upcoming Blab. And then something I mentioned at the beginning of the call is the Raise Your Rates Challenge. And you guys, if you are struggling with raising your rates, if you know that you are a total expert in what you do and you want to command higher prices, that training, I'm going to send you an email every day for 5 days. It's a very, very content-rich training. And by the end of day 5, I'm going to challenge you to raise your rates and show you exactly how to do it and what to say to your clients. And so I recommend you check that out if you're in that boat where you're like, okay, it's 2016, I got to raise my rates. So I encourage you to check that out. And I want to say thank you guys for being here. I better hop off the phone, hop off Blab because I have a call. And we'll see you soon. Hopefully we'll see you Monday at 10 a.m. for the Coaches Break Room. Make sure you click on that link because it's not on my Blab channel. We have a separate Blab channel for the Coaches Break Room. So bye, everybody.